up, what up, what up? It's Thursday. It's pre-Friday. You on the porch with Qua, Maine, and Carvey. I say that, yes, I mean that. That's the fam in here. And El Boogie in the back and Debo somewhere in here. You on the porch with us today. And guess what, man? It is beautiful outside. Kid.
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about it is beautiful outside.
Gorgeous.
We back outside. The mosquitoes is too.
Yeah.
Man, I slapped my arm today a little too hard today. One called me. I'm telling you, man. He called me, Carvey. I was just out there, talking, holding court. Bow, slap hard.
Oh,
all
yeah.
right.
Get you right there.
Man, they called me like that one. That one, yeah. And when they come in hard, it's really crazy when the mosquitoes get real thick. You ever had walk? I know this ain't on the top, but you ever walk until like they hold what's the name?
Yeah, man. The whole
whole
family reunion, man. Like walk right into the mosquito convention.
And it's crazy, right? Because you sweating, you slapping, getting off, and the more you slapping, the worse it's getting. Man, it's not for the weak. It's mosquito season.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all day. That's all day, King. They come left and right, man. But hey, it's warm outside. This is a part of it. Man. And if you got some good cologne on, it's a problem.
It's over.
It's a problem if you got good cologne.
It's over.
I just had that thing where you hit the lake, wherever you go, and you go in there. There go one, there go two. But you know what they say? If you take odorless garlic pills, there's something about. But I said they ain't never met the mosquitoes on the hood.
Yeah, man, because they'll bite through odorless garlic pills.
That ain't nothing. I remember they gave that to us. It was like, man, I was like, hey man, it's crazy because I said that like if you take a squirrel from the hood that's in our neighborhood and put him in the woods with the real other squirrels, he'll win.
Oh yeah, listen here, man. You put him in the woods with all the regular squirrels, he gonna come out. I'm a champion.
Hey, he gonna bring banging over there. What would that look like? He gonna bring straight banging.
Hey man, then we gonna squirrel up. You understand?
Hey, it'll change the whole environment. I'm serious, man. Them squirrels over here fight rats, they fight cats, they going forward.
Listen,
man. So they wouldn't stay. You man, it's something different when you made in the hood in the body, man. It's something different.
Hey man, third and Taliban squirrels.
Man, them squirrels. That's what I'm saying.
Iraq.
I didn't seen them go at a cat. You know what I mean? I didn't seen them go at a cat. That's a different breed. So, man, the mosquitoes that come from over here, man. But that's just us being us on the porch, man. That's the type of conversation. Hey. Man, how you doing over there, that King?
Hey, listen here, Jack. Zippity doo
zippity. We need to put that in the promo.
Oh, what a wonderful day.
We need to put that in the promo, King.
Plenty of sunshine coming your way.
Man, plenty of sunshine coming your way. It's a poem, too. Zippity doo dah. Zippity day.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do it.
Oh, what a feeling. What a wonderful
It's a whole poem. Man, I'm good. Carvey, how you doing over there, the young guru? Each time, man, let me shout out my brothers in here, man. Let me say this. Jermaine and Carvey have been making sure this show runs efficiently. I'm just talking. I'm just being 100. I'm just talking. These brothers making it happen. Even when I'm late running in, Carvey right on point. He giving what we need on there. Man got the music, the sound, and as the maestro, he been putting stuff together, man. And as we say in here, when we in here and El Boogie and the squad, we in here, we say we don't have problems. We only deal with solutions.
Oh, you better believe it.
We only deal with solutions around here. We make it fast. We make it quick. We do not play, man. It's the porch. And we outside. Man, we outside again, fam.
Hey.
It's summer, man.
Mama says stay off the grass. Though.
Mama says stay off the grass, but you can go outside.
That's it.
Can you go outside, man? What's the game you played when you was a kid outside, man?
Cans. We played cans in the front and hooped in the back.
Carvey, what's the game you played? Tip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We played red light, green light, yellow light, stop.
Nice.
That was where you get the whole porch until I brought that up because we was playing in Miss Johnson's grass and she told us twice, don't play in the grass. You remember the day? You gotta play red light, green light, yellow light, stop. You gotta have that on the field. Like you can't go across the street, so we gotta play in somebody's yard. Concrete is soft, grass is free. Man, we don't play in the yard. So we start right here. When 4 more people play, it's a line. Before you know it, we running up and down it and he coming out. Get off my yard.
Man, so we used to play this game called Shade Alert. And with that,
Shade Alert.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain it to you.
Please do. Now, wait a minute, let me do a disclaimer. The views of this.
Oh, come on, man. It ain't bogus. We was little then.
Wait a minute.
No, but Shade Alert was like how when you outside and the sun is shining, right?
Yeah.
So then when you got that big cloud that kind of come and cover up the sun, but then you see the shade coming.
Yes.
So when you see the shade coming, you have to beat the shade
to the that's
to the spot.
See.
So it's like we running the whole field in the shade. So whoever didn't make it, whatever they was out. So yeah, it was called Shade Alert.
Shade Alert. We played Johnny Come Across.
Wow.
So you remember like Johnny Come Across. It's like Catch One, King of the Mountain.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
So you stand. It's one person. We do the whole thing. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch Tiger by his toe. If you to put feet in and all that. Yeah. And whoever out, it's a line of about 10 to 12 of us, and he got to catch somebody. Oh. When he go, Johnny Come Across. Boom, boom, into the last man. That's what you learn to do. You remember how you used to do the old dodge?
Oh, yeah. The old juke.
The juke. Yeah. The early juke.
Yeah.
5,000.
I ain't never played 5,000.
No.
So basically, if somebody kind of call it out like 1,000, and it's like 5 groups of people, they hustling to try to catch
whoever catch the ball.
They equip that 1,000.
Whoever get to 5,000 first.
Oh, that's some serious.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
Because when he said 5,000 in football, I remember we used to play. If you played tag or if you played tackle and you didn't rush, you got you get a 5,000 count. 1,000,
2 1,000, 3 1,000.
Then you could rush.
Yeah.
And then you could rush. But that 5,000, so you was be making receivers out there.
Yeah.
You was making receivers. If you tall, it's all on. That's some serious football.
Yeah.
And we played football before we had pads. I know we couldn't wait for the snow to drop.
Yeah.
Wintertime snow growing up. That was it. You going outside to snow it in, football all day.
Yeah, because we had on snowsuits.
Yeah, I don't. Whatever you had on, just whatever.
You don't think. So
you had whatever.
Yeah.
No gloves.
Yeah.
Runny nose.
And all
of it, man.
Yeah.
Cold, snow, and you playing in it, man. I couldn't wait. Them was the days, man.
Yeah.
King, we going back to the days. It's so good, man. Listen, I'm sick, as I say, man, before we get into what we get into, I'm 6 feet 1 inch above ground, man. How you living over there, King?
Hey, man, it's better to be seen than viewed.
Simple, plain, and understood. What about you, Carvey? I'm always here. Hey, man, we always
took and told us he always here, man.
It's always present, man. Fam, I got a special show today. Let's do me a favor too. Please read the book she gave us. Amazing. I was reading it last night. Yeah. Shout out to Vivian King and Miss June Perry Stevens. Yeah. Let's give them a round of applause.
Awesome conversation.
Great conversation yesterday, especially, man, talking about, man, that was just to hear her testimony. He was in the hospital for 32 days. 32 days total, and you got to learn to speak again. Man. The most basic, everyday human thing you got to learn to do all over again.
Stuff that we take for granted.
Right? And then she snapped out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and the other thing, just to have Miss Perry with it, like a friend, like, we got you. Like somebody saying, we got, what like when you was, so many people say prayers for you, people standing outside. Yeah. So her testimony of going through that, getting through that, and then, man, she full of life.
Yeah.
You didn't see any, when people go through certain things, you can kind of see something's not there anymore, right? But you didn't see, all you saw was life, man, everything.
Jubilant.
Man, jubilant.
Yeah.
And that was a heavy situation. She made us laugh on several occasions.
Yeah.
That's when you know you growing, man, when you can make us laugh at it, man. So, King, I got a special conversation today, man. My young brother, Kalen Haywood, Representative Kalen Haywood coming in today to talk about Trump and the gun ban. But I wanted to start off. What's up, Lena? What's up, Ladette? Oh, Ladette is back with us. What's up? Special conversation today. Call in 41. You can do this. You could have called in too. And whoever was calling in talking about the kids running upstairs, don't call us.
Man,
you had the wrong number on several occasions, man. You got the wrong,
bro. Listen here, man.
Because I get to see, I'll get privy to see your face when you was answering the phone.
I couldn't believe it, man. Listen here, man. It was the whole rundown from the kids running to somebody was cheating in the next room. And I'm like, dude, listen, I can't talk to you right now, whoever you are.
Oh my God, man. Hey, what up, Lena? Dad, it's good to see you. Lena is back outside. Lena Ramirez, always on with the Porch, man. Thank you. Hey, do us a favor too. Our call number is 414-444-5250. And what's that other number, man?
444-5253.
Listen, call in and chat with us before we get going. And when we get into our conversation, I got a really good conversation today. But if you wanted to call in and let us know the games you played as a kid, that's cool. You could do that, man. That backdrop looking good over there too, Carvey. I see how you got that whole the NOV, the mic, 860 AM, 106.5 M. I always wanted to say that too. I'm glad I said it that way. But listen, man, we want you to call in, get with us, man. We having a ball today. It's Thursday, and tell me what happy hour you might go to, or tell me where you on this day like this, a warm day like this, where you gonna be at today? What you gonna pull up? You can also pull up on the porch. You know, we get down over here. We don't have no problem, man. So let's do this. My topic today is, and I'm asking you, just tell me, there's a HBCU and there's a PWI. HBCU is historically Black colleges and university. PW is our predominantly white institutions. I had a conversation with my buddy and we on the porch yesterday. I was hanging out at 502 after a while, and my guy was going back and forth, and we was talking about the difference from the HBCU to a difference from a predominantly white institution. And we was just going back and forth, and he was telling me the pros and the cons of it. Then I got friends as Miss June Perry, and she was on Miss June Perry Stevens, and she was on here. She stated she's a legacy HBCU attendant. Her mother went, her aunt. She's like, this is what we do, and that shaped her politics and their beliefs. I went to Clark for a day. I'm just gonna tell you that for a day. My paperwork wasn't right, so I couldn't move on campus. I was like, I'm not. I came down here to live on campus, didn't move in day. And at that time, you know, at HBCU, it's the 90s, ain't no pressing the button. You got to go through the whole process of mailing transcripts, picking up transcripts. And it used to be a time they wouldn't give you your transcripts. You could pay for them and they have to mail them in. So did all that. But I do want you to call in, shout out your HBCU or your PWI. But if you can today, talk to us when we do our thing about which one, not which one is better, but how can I say it? What's your experience at either or? So with that being said, we are on the porch and we gonna get this thing going. Guess what? They told us that we couldn't play the lyrics to the songs. That's what Facebook, not Facebook, but YouTube said we can't play the lyrics. So guess what we did? You know, we created. What you do? Guess what we did? I told you. The squad in here do not have problems. We solved them. There's no problem too big. So with that being said, I know you've been waiting all week long, just starving like Marvin for On the Porch song. So get ready how we do it. And we say engine number 9, like on my New York transit line. Like if my train fell off the track, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Woo, that's why I want to start at right there. Turn it up. That's that exhibit. Wherever you at, you know the lyrics, you can say them. And he gets so hard on this. It's hip-hop, 50 years still there. What up, Miles Duke? Watch how this drop right here, Carvey. If you was DJing, man, I'll tell you to spin that back. That's how good that sound.
Oh, man. We can still do it. I'm still DJ, man.
Man, spin that back there. Man, spin that back there, man. I'm telling you. What up, Ledet? What up?
You took a tone.
Hey, we on the porch for real. Look at that. Hey. How quick that flip. It's a movie every day. Woo! What's up?
It's instant replay on your radio dial.
Say it again, man. What is it?
Instant replay on your radio dial.
It's Thursday. Y'all better get ready. Wait till Friday, baby. Boom! The go comes. He might show up Friday. Yeah.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you.
Hit him up too.
I heard
Hit him up. I heard some words
about him. I heard he was hey.
HBCU, check in with us. PWI, check in with us. 414-444-5250. 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Oh, woo! You can't do nothing. It's hip hop. You can't do nothing but bob your head to it. That's my man. That's Jay Electronica. You either build or destroy where you come from. The Magnolia Projects and the Thor Ward slum. Woo. Hey, man, that's how hard he went on this joint.
Man, he went hard.
He went so hard on this, man. They call me Jay Electronica. F that. They call me Jay Elect Yamaka. Woo. I almost forgot the lyrics, man. King, give me another one, man. Give me another one, man. Where we at? We got on the countdown, man. John, man, with us. Talk to us. Where we at, man? Let's get it.
Uh-oh.
Should I?
I think we can do it.
I think you should.
Uh-oh.
That's how I feel right now.
Uh-oh.
It's 50 years of hip hop.
Uh-oh.
What? Wu-Tang in the cut. It's the after party. Watch these rap brothers get it all up in your guts. Rich vanilla, butter, pecan, chocolate deluxe. Ha! Woo! What's up? Give me some hearts out there if you feeling this vibe we got right now. I hope y'all can hear me. Give me a thumbs up knowing you can hear us. That's my joint. Wu-Tang in the cut. It's up. It's the after party. Watch these rap brothers get all up in your French vanilla, butter, pecan, chocolate deluxe. Even Sunday. I can't say all of it right, man. No. You've been my wine all week, but yo, pardon me. What up, Deidre? What's up, y'all? That's Shaheem and the whole Wu-Tang family. Tang in the cut. And I got one for Carvey, man. Give me one more, man. I got one. I think Carvey might. This man, you might be with this too. They say this used to be the joint for the certain part of Milwaukee. This is. I want to go a little dirty, right? Can I get a little dirty?
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. Let's get a little dirty. Let's get a little dirty, man. Let's get a little dirty.
Oh.
Look at Carvey. That chain. Look at me. I told you. They say they used to play this in the 30s.
To be honest with you.
What's up, man?
When this came on in the Matrix, it was
the Matrix.
Oh, it was a lot of bottles flying.
Just going.
Oh,
they say they could play it.
They got to throwing bottles with this joint. Hey.
Hey, man, I was at a high school. We was trying to get the energy going, and we put this on. The principal was like, no.
Yeah, he knew it was going to get
He
wild.
ran from the back. We was trying to get the energy going. It was like, all right, let's play something. And this came on. Oh,
they went nuts.
He stopped. No, not that one.
Yeah, he knew they was going to nuck. They was getting ready to buck.
Nuck, if you buck, what? If you buck, what? Nuck, what? They say the Matrix. We was at the Matrix, man.
Listen here, man. I've seen plenty cats get carried out when this song.
Hey, Carver, you know where the Matrix used to be? East side over here by what? That Ross?
Walmart. Yeah,
across the street.
Man,
that big old area was a club called the Matrix.
Thousands of people, bro.
You get caught in the Matrix.
Thousands of people. Like, man, that's when the city was cracking.
That was a blue jean suit club too, because everybody came.
Everybody blue jean suits.
Everybody had the blue jean joint on. Everybody matched all the way too.
Man, you don't remember the Park Bar, do you?
Yes.
Park Bar used to crack on.
Hey, it was crazy. We brought Marvin Pratt to the Park Bar when he was running for office. Shut it down.
Park Bar used to
shut it down,
boy.
We brought him in there. They couldn't believe we brought him in there. We brought him in there. It's like, man, you need to go talk to the people. He came in and Baby Drew opened the crowd up for us, and they rocked out. Pratt was on the thing. We got to doing the Pratt at the Park Bar. Park Bar used to go down.
We used to go down because that was the joint that you had to dress up.
You had to dress up. We was dressing up there.
Yeah, there was hard bottoms and you know what I mean, slacks.
We was dressing up there. Yeah. And shout out to Carvey. You should have seen Carvey at Tony Reed's party. I said, Carvey, you got to be dressed. He was like, really? I said, yeah, man. Oh, Carvey said, watch me, Quad. He came in. Carvey had the hair. He had the hair laid. Right? He had the bow tie and he was on, man. So, man, take us out of here, man. With us a commercial. We come back to the joint. You on the porch with us and we not playing. Ooh, you hear that?
You hear it? Hey. Nuck if you buck. Nuck if you buck.
Great energy, kid. Great energy.
Worldwide on 860 AM and 106.5 FM. WNOV.
What's up, family? What's up? What's up? I hope y'all enjoyed that energy we was in there giving to you. It's warm outside. I felt like we needed to do it. As I said, man, they told us we got to be mindful about us on YouTube, etc. So again, we are resourceful, resilient people, as my people say. My poet Sonia Sanchez says we are some beautiful, bad, you know what, black people, and that's for all of us creatively and doing what we do, man. So chime in with us today, talk with us today, man. WNOV 868 and 106.5 them. It's Thursday. The weather is nice. Memorial Day is coming. Make sure you get with your family, even if you don't celebrate the day. Know what it's for. Those who fought for our country. And also get a chance to kick it with your family and your friends. Call in today, 414-444-5250. State Rep Kaylin Haywood, my good brother, will be Kaylin Haywood Jr. will be coming in, chiming in, talking with us at 4 o'clock. But for the moment now, I got a few things I want to share before we get into our conversation today. And I got this thing it is called Quabanaz 10. So yes, Quabanaz 10. So there are 10 things I think I do every day, and I want you to do it. So check this out when I say it, family. And please bear with me. I hope you can hear me. This is what I say. In case you didn't know, here are some words and phrases in tough times. 1, I'm grateful for. Whatever you're going through, just be grateful for that moment and that time. Just know that. Be grateful. I practice gratitude every morning. Number 2, you got to believe this when I say this. It too shall pass. My grandmother always said, trouble do not last. Trouble do not last. It has to pass. Just as the seasons pass, just as the weather pass, trouble will pass. So remember that, family. Whatever you're going through, it may take a moment, it may take a day, it may take a year, but trust me, if you focus on it, trouble will pass. Number 3, feed your faith and starve your fear. Yes, I said it. Feed your faith and starve your fear. Because you know why? Whatever you feed grows, whatever you starve dies. So what do I mean by that? The Most High woke you up this morning. That is faith. When you want to do something, that is faith. Faith is not sitting, faith is working. Fear is false evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. If you can't see it, it's not there. So if you can't see it and you fear it, look at it and say, I'm brave, and you can deal with it. Number 4, and what I believe more than anything, man, a setback is a setup for a comeback. That's simple as that. Shall I do it again since you gave the woo? I'll do it again. A setback is a setup for a comeback. Yes. What we sometimes see as a failure and things pushed us back is the thing that moved us out the way right before the car came across the street. That 1 inch and that one moment saved their life. When we say, man, it's messed up, no, it's setting you up for you can come back. And guess what? If you do it right, if you put your mind to it, if you focus hard and work at it hard, your comeback gonna even be stronger. Think about sports. Think about basketball. Watch how they do. They miss a couple of shots, but somewhere at the end of the game, Steph Curry get hot. And that comeback is amazing. Number 5, and I have to say this for any of us from all the places we come from. It says, if it don't break me, it will make me. If it don't break me, it will make me. I mean that when I say it. You only become a diamond by being coal becomes a diamond because of the pressure it did. So don't honor the diamond, honor the coal, because the coal took the grind so the diamond can shine. If it don't break you, it's going to make you. You're going to look back and say, man, that's what they said it was scar. I said it was stripe. Earn your keep. Number 6, just go one more day. My grandmother said, just go one more day. I called her one time complaining about life. I told her they didn't fix my car. I hadn't got my check. I'm ready to come home. And she said, baby, just go one more day. Family, sometimes that one more day. Think about it. Think about it. The late, great Dr. King, he got up and spoke one more day. Malcolm X, one more day. Any MC that you know, they took one more day to get where they going. You writing your songs, man. You going through it. You stuck today, but go one more day. If you quit, you'll never write the song. Number 7, if you fall, well, Les Brown said this, if you fall, Mama Banks, land on your back, because if you look up, that means you can get up. That's right. Don't fall on your face. Fall backwards and look up. If you look up, you can get up and get back up. Muhammad Ali is a champion, not because he won so many fights, because he got knocked down, took a punch, and got back up. Ask George Frazier. George Foreman. He know exactly what I'm talking about. Number 8, place your back to the wall and face what's in front of you. Remember you in school and they say they're coming to get you, and what do your people tell you at home? Put your back against the wall and deal with what's in front of you. That's all you got to do. That's life. That's family. That's everything you ever going through. Trouble coming, find a wall, put your back on it, and all you got to do is fight what's in front of you. And you know what's crazy? What's in front of you gonna run, because guess what? You digging and fighting, you right in front of them. Can't nothing get behind you. So stay with that. Number 9, in our darkest times, a glimmer of light can guide you to your destination. When it's dark is the best time to see the light. A glimmer of hope can get you somewhere. During slavery, our ancestors did what? They looked for the North Star, and they traveled at night because that's when it was dark, so you could see the brightest star. Number 10, it is the journey, not the destination. Don't worry about landing there. Just keep going. Find the journey. The journey is who you become. You work, you learn, you grow. That's what you have to do in the journey. And lastly, if nothing else I said counts, remember this. Life is seasonal, so plant when the ground is fertile, nurture, affirm, and develop in the dark, and rest in the season of isolation. And always, as my grandmother Madis said, you are not being punished, you are being prepared. And that's Kwaba Natin. Vibe with that. Right on time, man. Love it, fam. Let's give man an O around here. Can you get an O one time?
Oh,
man, what's up? Mama Banks, how you doing out there? Man, you right on point with that. I love that, man. That's great synergy, man. I love it. You right on point, man. Listen, I was out last week, but it's so good to be back, sitting here, building, having the conversations we had. Shout out to Laverne Badger and the Exposed. Shout out to Vivian L. King. My good brother my young brother gonna be coming in. Yes, thank you, man. What's up, fam? Oh, yes. That's the art museum checking in with us, man. That's the Greenwood. What's up, King? How you doing? Listen, so today, kings and queens, I want to say this. I was having a conversation with one of my guys, right? And we were going back and forth, not arguing, but just about HBCUs and predominantly HBCUs, which are historically black colleges and universities, and PWIs, which are predominantly white institutions, the White Waters, etc. Even though there may be people of color, it's still considered a PWI. Jackson State, Morris Brown, Clark Atlanta University, Hampton University, Howard. Those are considered HBCUs. As we got to going in our conversation, several people who attended HBCUs and some who attended predominantly white universities, they started having oh, that's our uncle outside on the motorcycle. He had to do that, you know.
he pulled up
He pulled up on the porch, and he probably was like, "Yeah, what radio?
Radio."
But it says the question. So people got back and forth about the conversation. Hey, what's up, Mary Ellen? People went back and forth about the conversation of HBCUs and predominantly white institutions. So some people, it wasn't a division, but there were conversations about how you prepared and are you not prepared. Anyway, I wanted to have a conversation before our guests come in today about what's up, Tina Nixon. Sound like I know that last name. I wanted to have a conversation. It's Tina Nixon. I mean, there's only a couple of Nixons. It's only a couple of Nixons out here. There's some Nixons from Chicago, but they listen the other way. So my mom, my aunties, but they Stanfords and other names, man. So anyway, as me and my guys and a few people were talking, it went back and forth about HBCU. Are you prepared? Who's better prepared? Throughout the country, there are numbers of HBCUs throughout the country. I think it's something like 107 HBCUs throughout the country. So if you get a chance, call in today, 414-444-5250. Now, here goes some of the things that I was privy to out there. One of my guys, and I have to be careful because there's a whole bunch of people in the conversation. I don't want nobody to say, man, I didn't tell you that. I told you that in confidence. They did tell me in confidence. I'm a journalist. So if you tell me, I got to report it. But he said that he didn't want to go to a HBCU because he said he wanted the real experience of the world. He said a HBCU would only put him around just people of color. What's up, Rashida? HBCU would only put him around people of color. And he said, that's not the real world. My buddy and a young lady that was sitting on the side of me came back and said, well, if you're at HBCU, there's culture, there's tradition, and you are being prepared to know your culture and who you are. My buddy on the side that was also there, who happened to go to a PWI, predominantly white institution, came back and he stated, well, I don't think we were getting prepared if I went to a HBCU like I was at the PWI. There's more resources, there's more availability, etc. So they went back and forth. a bunch of kids graduated over a period of time, and are graduating now. Shout out to all the high school graduates. Some of them are making decisions, and those who are juniors in high school are making decisions of where they want to go to school at. There's going to be a conversation, should you go to an HBCU and should you go to a predominantly white institution, so long as you get some form of education. So family, if you can, any of my HBCU grads, attendees, what's your thoughts on it? And any of my PWIs, what's your thought on it? I can speak from this part of my experience. Again, the number is, yes, I put it, Carvey, if you can, let's place that number. I just got to ask, can we place the number via text? The number again is 414-444-5250. If you can, yes, call in and let us know. What's your thought? And the other side, what's that other number, Jermaine? I'm sorry.
444-5253.
All right. It's a 414 area code, or you can chime on here, but I really want to hear your voice. I went to, so my high school was predominantly black. Well, the first high school I went to in California, I went to Wenatchee, California, Wenatchee High School, Porterville, California. It's only 10. I'm only 10. It's the school had probably 800 people at best. I don't know if that's the right number, but it was only 10 black kids in there, and I was one of the 10. Always felt uncomfortable, always trying to find out who I was, but I was way away from home. My high school that I came back to in Chicago, Marshall High School, predominantly African American. I'm talking about 99.18% black. No, that was it, simple and plain. When I went to college, I went to Kennedy King College, which is a junior. That's the first school I went to. It's a junior college in Chicago. I went for communications. Kennedy King, again, even though it's a JUCO, would be similar to MATC. We had, I still say 89% African American, and 10% other. 89% on 69th to Vincennes. I later transferred to Malcolm X College. Again, now, I always say Malcolm X College because I had a nursing program. Some of the people in there, it was still, I would say about 90 to 80% African American, but I would say 10 to 11% of others. With that being said, after that, I graduated. I went down to Clark Atlanta University based on paperwork, based on not getting things on time, etc. I ended up not going. I was accepted. I didn't go. I stayed down there and worked. So I never attended Clark. I came back home and went to Columbia. Columbia is an art school. As you know, Columbia College, I went for film, that's music, dancing. So that's a whole different vibe. I wanted to go to a HBCU because I saw people coming home and they would start telling me about the experience, the pledging, the fraternities. This is the beginning of Freaknik, right? They start talking about the bands, the South. So I went to this Soldiers Field. Used to have Chicago, the Battle of the Bands. They used to have it in Chicago at Soldiers Field. And my best friend took me and I was blown away. I was like, oh, I'm going. I mean, they had, was it Jackson State? Yeah. So you understand? It was Jackson State. It was who, I don't know who the bigger bands are.
Yeah, I think Jackson State is one of the bigger bands.
Right, the Sonic Boom. Yeah. They were going against, if you've seen Drumline, that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Up until that, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah. I had never seen that type of energy. Just the whole, and everybody was there. I knew about it, but I hadn't seen it up close. And he said, when he went down, he went to Delta State. I think he went to Mississippi Delta. And he was like, Tone, you have never seen energy like that. And he was not lying. So when I got to Clark, I saw it, but I didn't get to experience because they didn't have paperwork. So, but any HBCU over the years that I've went to and spoke or just was there at an event, Howard, my cousin went to Howard, we went to Howard homecoming, and Puff was there. I didn't know him. Just want to say that. I'm say, hold on, but I'm saying, no, he was 89, but it's like 89. But that was the beginning. He was starting to become, was starting to come because he was throwing parties and everything down there. But it was great energy. So I would love to hear from man. So as a music person, right? Yeah. Or somebody to know the music and what you hear, and South, right? Because you were North Carolina, wasn't you down?
North Carolina, Greenville, North Carolina.
Right. So A&T down there. What have you ever heard anything about the culture and the music of HBCUs?
Well, when I was in Greenville, no, I didn't hear any of that. You know, shout out to my son. He go to Mississippi Valley State. So see. HBCU.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so Interesting. Why is it? Was it any? Did it make a difference, or is just that's where he went?
Well, that's where he wanted to go. So then we helped him and pushed him along, and he'll be graduating next year. He got one more year.
Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Let's give it up.
I'm a proud father because, Dad didn't go to college because I ain't gonna tell y'all the story.
It's the other side to it. It's the other side to it.
But I'm proud of him, and he's my only son, and I'm grateful. So yeah, he chose HBCU.
Is there any do you have any idea why he chose it, or did you see a difference in how was it a difference with him, or was it just like not quite? He kind of went there, and once he went there, that was where he,
Well, to be honest with you, for that process, I kind of stepped out of the way and let him, make his choice of where he wanted to go. He's a very smart kid, so he had options. So he chose that school, and then we hit the road to get him there.
You made the ride down?
Yeah.
Do we talk about it?
Yeah, he talk about it. Yeah. Matter of fact, he's trying out for the basketball squad because he got skills like his dad.
So,
and
Carvey, come on, man.
Hey, Carvey, come on over and grab this mic because I've been waiting for young Carvey to come jump on this court, man. He been running, man.
Oh, y'all didn't have y'all game?
No, man. This cat been ducking and dodging.
I thought y'all was having y'all game.
Yeah, that we supposed to, man. But this cat ran. Man.
I'm trying to see it. And so he hooping down there. Yeah. Throughout the country, how many historically there are 107 HBCUs across the United States, enrolling more than 228,000 students. Of these institutions, 2/3 are public and most are four-year college and universities, right? So they had something where they talked about what's the pros and cons about it. Carvey, are you familiar with the terms, the HBCU versus the predominantly white institution? All right. Have you heard of all black college? And you hear we say a PWI. If you had to choose, all right, the HBCU schools, that's Howard University, there's Spelman, there's Xavier, there's Morehouse College, and they produce some amazing people.
Yeah.
If you were to say, man, Jermaine, I'm leaving, I might go to college. Let me ask you this. If we said, Carvey wants you to go to a HBCU, which is a historical black college, or a PWI, which one, based on what you know and what you would want in life, or what you would want to experience, which one would you choose?
Me personally, I would want to be around my culture and learn my history and more about who I am. So that's what I would go with.
So now let me ask you this. They say, again,
because that's what I want to know. It depends on what you want to know and what do you want to learn.
Do you know anybody that's at a black college, historically black college?
Yes.
Cool.
Actually, one of my friends, she called up to your show, Texas State.
Yeah.
They shout her out from Texas. So,
that's dope.
Yeah, I know a couple people in HBCUs, and I know some people in PWI.
Have you ever had a conversation with them about what's the difference, what's like, what's not, or have they ever had a conversation about it?
Yes. My friends in the HBCUs, they tell me is culturally involved, so they comfortable, they can be themselves, and learn things about their
us.
us, and then I talk to my PWI friends, they tell me it's different, something that that they thought
was gonna be
was gonna be, and it may not be what they thought.
So he says, so with that being said, it says reasons to attend the HBCU. You tell me if these will fit in you. It said affordability. You say because it's affordable, right? But sometimes it's not, because my little cousin she wanted to go, I think, to Howard. She wanted to go to Howard, but her scholarship from Howard, the PWI gave her more money. They gave her more money, based on. However, when she went down to North Carolina A&T to visit her people, she was ready to transfer. She was ready to transfer. We talked about. I listened more than I talked, because I know that for anybody out there, if you call in and talk with us, the atmosphere is exciting.
Yeah,
I mean,
man,
it's amazing. And Ta-Nehisi Coates. Ta-Nehisi Coates, the great author, wrote the book Around the World, Between the World and Me. He described Howard Yard to a T. He was like, if you ain't never seen it, he was like, it was a Wakanda. It was a Wakanda. Now, Ladette, before I go into it, Ladette Austin says, she says, HBCUs prepare you culturally for things that you were never, let me read it right. HBCUs prepare you culturally for things that you never were taught growing up, and you can make lifetime connections all over the USA. You can always attend the PWI, okay, for grad school to get the other real world experience. I regret not going to an HBCU, but I had a child early and I couldn't leave her behind. Okay. They didn't have family, which they did not. She says they didn't have family housing back in the day, because that was during the time. I'm not saying it was accepted or not, but it wasn't, they weren't catering to that part. Like, like now they're a little more sensitive to things. Like MATC now has a dorm. They have dorms in MATC. Apartments. They have apartments, which you should get that experience of staying and going home, right? And then they said reasons to attend the HBCU. It says diversity is essential to educational experience that all students can benefit from them. All the diversity ends and means a rich experience. My guy from LA, my poet buddy out there, he said we went to Howard. And he said, but he got off the plane in Atlanta. He said he had never seen anything like that in his life. I said, but you live in LA. He said he had never seen Black excellence like he saw in Atlanta. Because everything is. You grow up with seeing that, right? So he said when he went to Howard, he couldn't believe it. He was like, he saw them over there, the dancing. He saw the groups, the poetry sets he went to, the book clubs he belonged to. I can admit that I didn't become a serious student till I started getting in college. I just was there because they said we need to go. But once I started reading literature, shout out to my teacher, Miss Burchett, Claudette Burchett, my African literature teacher. She is the one that put me on of reading who we are and what we were. And that's how she guided me towards Clark Atlanta University. Also, it says another reason you should go is the HBCU Alumni Network. They say you cannot beat that network. And I can be honest, I've been privy to that network. I've seen people, if you go to Howard, you're a legacy. So, well, once the vice president won, a lot of people, Howard attendance quadrupled. But if you're a legacy, you have an ability to make a phone call, or you get privy that others don't. So just that network, I've seen people who I know went to those schools, and that's their lifelong friends. Like my high school friends are like that to me, but they're lifelong friends. Affordable tuition rates. Now, I don't know, because my cousin told me different when it was time for my niece to go to school, the cost of it. So again, call in 414-444-5250. Tell us your experience. Alumni association schools tend to have their own alumni associations, but students who attend and earn a degree from an HBCU are eligible to join. They show the impact, and then it says empowerment. You cannot beat the empowerment you would get if you ever saw the movie. Back in the day, what was the show? A Different World. A Different World. Yes, A Different World, right? Was based off of school days.
Colleges,
school days.
School days.
Yes. Spike Lee. Shout out to Spike Lee, right? Yes.
Wow,
Yes, Spike Lee. So when you watch School Days, Carver, you get a chance, we pull it, you can see it, and if you want to pull it up. But if your School Days was the introduction for us in our generation, like you would see, you ever saw Stump the Yard? School Days was our Stump the Yard. Or Drumline, right? Yeah. So when you saw School Days, that was the first example of what the Black college life was like. You know, they was fraternities. They were on the yard. I was definitely going because I wanted to be a part of the revolution. They, my man Dap, they was putting their fists in there. They had the black yards, whatever, and on there. So from that show, from that movie, which was historic, you know, Spike was a master at doing, you know, the Doing the Butt soundtrack. You know, he brought us EU. that turned into a different world. Have you ever saw a different world, Carvey? Please go back and seen it. All right. Have you seen a different world? I know you've seen a different world,
Of
man.
course, man. That was my
Whitley, all
joint.
right. We come back. We gonna build on that before our guests come in. Take us a commercial, man. Call in and talk to me, man. 414-444-5250. HBCU or predominantly PWI. Oh, man. Now, hey, I mean, look, how about how long?
That's my life.
So that's what I'm saying, man. So I'm proud of you. I'm gonna introduce, I guess. But look, family, as I was saying, you know what, Kaylin, I'm gonna announce your title and everything. But let me say this, King. Before we even start the conversation that we building on, because I know you'll be and what you're here for. I had the question because I was on the porch and I was talking to two friends, and we went back and forth about HBCUs versus PWIs. And I ain't gonna say versus, but they were like the benefits of HBCU and the benefits of a PWI. You back in school, right?
Yep.
You went back to school,
Yep.
right? You went to King.
Yep.
Am I right? Right, King. You went to King, right?
Chaos.
Oh, here you go. Here you go. Go on. What's this go? Go say the whole thing. What is it?
Rufus King International Baccalaureate High School. You know,
I just did it because I know it was coming somewhere. Everybody from King that been on here made it clear. Like I didn't go to King, the King. Blah 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 blah. It's coming. It's coming. So
Everybody.
and somebody from Riverside gonna come in. It never fails. It never fails.
Yeah.
And y'all got a crazy dynamic because you went to King and your pops went to Riverside.
Yeah.
And that was crazy one
Yeah.
time when he was talking about it. He was like, "Yeah, you go." I think you asked him wear a sweatshirt or
Yeah,
something, and he
yeah.
was like, "My hypocrisy." I was like, "Hey, come on." He's like, "No, man, come on, please." He was serious with it.
Yeah.
So you went, but you had an experience. So not where you stand, but what's your thoughts on that? Because what school are you right now?
I'm at UW Milwaukee.
UW Milwaukee, right? HBCU. I know you're in office, so it's a little difficult, but why do you think that's a conversation, especially within your generation and even further? We had Miss June Perry on here yesterday, and she gave us the whole rundown. Her family is a legacy of HBCUs, her mother went there, the grandmother, her nieces. I mean, it's a continuous legacy of HBCUs, PWIs. What do you think, Kay, before we get into the conversation, if you don't mind?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
What is that like? What do you think that's about from the HBCU point of view to a PWI?
So I've only been to a PWI.
Mhm.
'Cause I stayed in the city. I ran for office. But I think I was on a panel about HBCUs back in my history month, and everybody else on the panel went to a HBCU. It's just like when you talk to anybody who went to a HBCU, the
Mhm.
pride, the stories, the culture.
Mhm.
So I think when you go to a HBCU, you get this unique experience where you are around a bunch of Black excellence. You are around like-minded people who are all pushing themselves. I think college is important because I think that's how, as an adult, you begin to have your network for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So you're around other Black excellence, other Black geniuses, other Black talent who
Okay.
help mold and grow you, and you get that Black culture and that Black experience that you might not get at home. I think I recommend people that are looking for college to even think about it. Go to a homecoming week, tour the campus. Go see it. Like it's a different experience. I've been to some homecoming weeks. It's a different experience.
Yeah.
But at PWI, I think it comes with its challenges as a Black student.
Really.
And I'm not just singling anybody out, but just you probably are a part of a small portion of the Black population of the
When you go to like
PWI,
so you would go to a major school like Iowa, like if you went Whitewater, etc.
Yeah.
Those, even though there are people of color there, you're saying it's still a small percentage. Okay.
But I think the one challenge is you still can galvanize the Black community on schools that are PWIs. But the one part of PWI is you're more than likely as a Black student going to get a pretty decent scholarship, whether that's a full ride or a majority scholarship.
Yeah.
So the finances might make more sense. As for HBCU, everybody else did. Everybody did great. Everybody's a great student. There's a great Black student. So the challenge becomes the financial piece for students. So I would encourage students who do the HBCU route to figure out how you do scholarships and how do you get paid for it. And that's the important piece. But I think at PWIs, you're going to have the challenges of the social piece and the culture piece, but the finances usually work out a lot more.
And you know what? Because my niece, I was just telling her about my niece. She wanted to go to Howard, but the other school gave her more money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as much as I believe we wanted her to go, she went where the money was. Something you said too just struck me when you said, "Well, you're able to galvanize when you on a." Because it means a little more now. You think it's a tighter knit because of you. It's
like on campus. So like I'm a part of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity incorporated. So a lot of students on PWIs tend to join these Black Greek organizations, which helps you get around other Black students and be this recruitment piece because PWIs don't have to stay PWIs. You don't have to stay the minority community or Black community on these PWIs doesn't have to stay that way.
All right.
You can grow the community. But so how do you get around other Black people and create this team where y'all now one working to better Black student life on campus. But when it comes to being intentional recruitment, working with administration around how to recruit Black students or students of color. But also how do you make sure when students of color do come there as a more senior member of the school, whether you're a sophomore, junior, senior year, whatever it may be, making sure the freshmen coming in have a better experience than you had. And just keep building on that generation after generation after generation.
Because you're right there. Because like you said, you got a hand in it. And you stated something, and I'll go right into our conversation. But I want to say this. You know, not too long ago, we had a conversation on here with young men going to college or not, right? You said something. You said, I think you should go and see the campus because it can better prepare you for life. And because I don't think it's a versus or, but as a young man, right? When you think about telling young men, if you go back to a high school and some 17-year, 18-year-olds, and they ask the question, should I go to college? Should I go to trade school? All of it works, but like, it sounds like you're pro, go get more education.
I'm pro future. So
Well,
your future is the college path because you want to go to college. Go tour them campuses. Go spend a day or two on campus. Find a student like me on campus who you can shadow and talk to about our experience, and go to a class with me and see how it is. But college also ain't for everybody. I think that one thing I saw MPS start doing is school signing days.
Yeah.
So when you go to a school, you have this big announcement what school you're gonna pick. When people are going to trades or getting different careers, people don't really talk about what they're doing. So MPS started the MPS signing day to acknowledge that there are other career paths.
Yes.
And my thing is, whatever you're gonna do, make sure you got a plan for the future. So I of course encourage people just with the society and where society is headed to get a degree in something, so you make sure you are able to
you skilled and professional.
Be competitive in the workforce.
Yeah.
But also I encourage entrepreneurship. I encourage you to go get an apprenticeship. I encourage you, if you got to take that year off and go get some actual real world experience about that field you might think you want to be in, go do that. But as long as you're creating a plan for the future, that's the important part.
Because you kind of took that path, am I correct?
Yeah.
You, even though you wouldn't call you a traditional college student, am I right?
Right.
Because you first ran for office, right?
I was in school first. I had a freshman year, ran for office. When I got in, took some time off. Now I'm back in the swing of things. Almost done. Thank God.
Yes.
But like everybody's different paths. I know people who have took a year or two off and went to go work some great jobs they got. Now they went back after because they didn't really know what they wanted to do in the first place.
Right.
Because a lot of time, like in high school, I think high school should do a better job at exposing our kids to actual real world experiences and what the workforce looks like. When you get in college, it's not like being in high school, you figure it out. You paying for those classes.
For those classes.
Yes,
you paying for those credits.
So I'm A-okay with people actually taking some time to learn what they want to do. Because when you 18, when you 16, 17, you might think you want to be a doctor, but then you get a job when you 18, 19, working in environmentals with MMSD, and then you might be like, oh, I want to be in the environmental space, and you might have no clue about it. So I'm okay with folks like, as long as you are intentional about what you go do. I know there's even programs like MPS has a program with a Courtney Kelly who they take students through. Shout out to Courtney. They take students to different career paths, different professions to meet the folks in those career fields. And they like, hey, after that's over, do you not know what you want to do? So sometimes it's just the exposure. I mean, they'll always get that in high school. So how do we expose you to this? But I mean, just make a plan what the future's gonna look like.
Did that help you in your even in that formula you just spoke on? Did that help you? Because you ran for office, right? But you were in school. So you got a 2-world experience, because some people will be studying government, right? But you like really, this is not theory. You have to be in practice, right? Did that help you in both sides, that you ran for office and you did that, and then you went back to school, right? Did that help you? Did that shape things?
So I started off as a finance accounting major my freshman year
at
University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Well, at Cardinal Stritch, actually. I started at Cardinal Stritch University, and then I was in finance and accounting. And then after I took some time off, came back. I'm now a poli-sci major. Still love accounting, still love finance.
Yes.
But I just learned so much hands-on experience about politics and political science that literally some of my classes, I'm like, I do this stuff. Like, this is what I do. One of my classes was state politics. I'm like, the assignment was go to an assembly committee hearing and write about it. I was like, I run these hearings. I'm like, so I think having that real world experience can help you. I think sometimes folks who aren't traditional learners and who just don't learn from just reading out a book, having that real world experience to connect it to, you might learn the same stuff. Now you're going to school just to have that credential to back it up. You have the experience.
And it's a hands-on sport now. Because, and that's no knock to anyone, but I mean, if you think about it, where someone is reading about this bill, etc., you literally in the room with these people, you're making decisions that affect people's lives, and you have to be versed on it, man. So shout out to you, King. Well, my good brother, I've known this young man for some years, man, and I watched him before. So people don't know, King, that before you were a politician, before a servant. Let's not
public servant.
I'm sorry. Let me put that right. You were already involved in engagement, right? You were already making decisions with your youth. Was it you were youth on the youth?
I was part of underground as a community organizer, and then also the president of the City of Milwaukee Youth Council, which is a council of young people who work with the city council and the mayor and city departments, just advocate for young people and our issues that we feel like sometimes aren't represented because we are at the table, but make sure you have that seat at the table. I know the city's still doing that. The county has a youth commission. The county executive finally started back up. But it's important to get young people in that space, in that room. And because of Urban Underground, because of Youth Council, I think that's why I am where I am today.
And you were, because you were an advocate then. I would watch. You were an advocate then. The mall situations. Right. You were an advocate then. The police, the pulling over, all of that. You were speaking on that then, and you were. And I think you guys have an advantage, which will lead to where we're going, because you in the storm, you guys, age-wise, I'm out the storm, meaning of the brutality of being pulled over, being young and black. But you guys are right here with the Trayvon and all. This is a part of your history. does that pull you into what you're speaking on today? We're talking about, as you're going to speak about Trump and through the Biden campaign.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
And you're speaking about the NRA and things of that nature. Did that, some of your early work and what you were passionate about, did that lead to where you are now?
I think it did. I think at the time I didn't see the correlation between what I'm doing now and what's happening in politics. What I did then and what's happening now in politics. But now I think politics can be so high level, and the rhetoric can be so high level. But I think I got having that experience. I got the real world on the ground, boots on the ground, grassroots perspective of it. But now I can help connect it to folks who are still doing grassroots. We're still doing grassroots work. But now how I can help translate that and connect it from the higher level folks who may not be doing that work.
Right.
How to make sure the message you're trying to get across and what you're working on relates to like my actual life and what people like me think about and see every day. So I think it helped. I think like all that has played into what we do now. And I think even just not like you got to have people who are public service who are in office who can be in the Capitol making policy and having those higher level conversations, but can still get on the block and do the work.
Yeah.
And that's super important.
Super important, King. I'm so glad you said that because I do know you and I know what you stand for. But that is important. You can hear what they say there, but you can bring it back to the layman's term. And right now, today, King, let them know what you're speaking of. First, let me do. I don't want to read your whole bio.
Yeah.
I never read anybody's whole bio. I just think would be. Well, I think people heard some of it while we spoke, but I just want to make it clear. Assembly Assistant Minority Leader Kaylin Haywood, Assembly Assistant Minority Leader Kaylin R. Haywood II represents Wisconsin Senatorial 16th Assembly District. He is the youngest. Let's give it up for that man. He is the youngest African American ever to be elected in the state office of the Wisconsin History and Democratic Party. Right, King, being the youngest. Right, and you've had to probably deal with that. You're too young to understand, etc. But I saw you speak one time, and you spoke to that when somebody spoke, kind of shot at that about you. But you spoke and you said that what you stated, I'm close to the fire. He's like, I'm right here where it's happening. So my experience hasn't to do with age. My experience has to do with my commitment, which you spoke on, organizing and having an advocate for young people. You are here to talk about the decision of gun control. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And this guy, the former president, how he sided, I'm assuming sided with the NRA, right?
Yeah.
And they said the NRA is I have an acronym for it, the Negro Removal Association. That's what I'll call it. But I know it's another name for it, but that's my thing in my poem. King, let's build on that, which is crazy, especially what happened in January, that he can side with that, with the mass shootings that's been going on. With period, just safety in our community, period. Nobody is being accountable. Tell me what you building on, and we can have a conversation about it.
Yeah, we head into this fall election, and a lot of people are talking about who they're going to vote for president. You got the former president who committed treason on national television.
No doubt. Call it what it is.
Is facing multiple indictments, and he on the ballot again. I know I couldn't probably do nothing like that.
Not at all.
I don't know. That's not reality.
Wrong complexion for the connection.
But then you got folks like President Biden who are in now. You got folks who just they're asking why should I go out and vote, and
which is common in our community. It's real heavy right now in the community.
Yeah, that's a real question.
Yes, it is. Yes.
But how does that play for my life? So you talk about just the higher level conversation, how it connects to us on the ground. You got the NRA, which is the National Rifle Association, who is a huge national lobbying group who puts a lot of money into these elections, state elections, congressional elections, but especially the presidential election, who daily advocate for gun policy. Not the ones we want to see that keep our communities safe. We all believe in the right to bear arms in the Constitution to protect yourself. But there's no reason in the world why people got assault weapons in the
AR-15.
There's no reason.
Things of that nature. No.
So you got this group who has backed former President Trump, and they support his campaigns financially and get mobilizing folks who are supporting him, but he's also supporting candidates in Congress who control the nationwide gun policy. What you see here happen is you see it in Congress, you see it here at the state level. You see Republicans now who refuse to do gun reform because of that. The people that back them, the campaigns and the money, they refuse to do gun reform. So what we see in our communities ain't just this big high level discussion. We seeing kids get murdered. We seeing kids get shot. We seeing 3-year-olds get shot.
Yes, we have what they say the actual receipt. Yeah. There's no need to have a debate. We clearly see it's affecting our community on scales.
Yeah. So that's how like the high level conversation around lobbying groups and money and politics and who controls what and who influences what. You got this national lobbying group supporting this national candidate who's influencing local candidates who refuse to make changes in policy to keep our community safe and keep our kids safe. And you see every day when we pushing for gun control, when President Biden's pushing for gun control, when Governor Evers is pushing for gun control. Governor Evers even called in a special session his last session to have Republicans address gun violence and gun control. But you got these candidates who refuse, like former President Trump, who refused to actually address gun control, and that's what's on the line this election. That's that's what's on the ballot. Because when they win, they people who supported them win. So that's who they got. Like, I wouldn't say the NRA's in Trump's back pocket. Trump's in the NRA's back pocket. And they will continue to push for policy and candidates in both in the White House, but also in Congress, who support not having gun control, who support not doing gun reform. And by that product, when we don't get engaged, they win. Right. When we don't get engaged, their policies win. When we don't get engaged, our kids keep dying.
And so and the other thing you're stating is they have no accountability, because if they are saying yes to it, this man clearly got on television. Now they hold voting. And I'll say they, but voting is supposed to be our major thing in America. It's not part of our democracy. We take that serious. And he literally got on TV and it was like a spoiled child, like, go down there and tear that house up because I didn't get in. Right. So when you speak on engaging, that's important to us. We are seeing young people in our neighborhoods, right? We having a conversation in our community right now that's real talk with people saying, I'm not gonna vote. What has Biden done for me? Why should I care? Right? Because I think people just disconnected. They don't know what you just broke down. There are a lot of people in our neighborhoods on the ground who have no idea how this affects them, right? How can we get that, in your opinion, from your organizing, from your strategizing? One, how do we get that message to them, the importance of it? And if you can, King, break it down for me in the best way you can, the importance of people going out and voting for Biden.
So I think when it comes to, I get the frustration. I was out indoors this morning. I was out indoors yesterday. You hear it. You hear about like particular neighborhood concerns people have on their block. And I get the frustration, but like not getting engaged ain't the course of action. I get not seeing stuff change. You're going out and go vote. You go vote for these candidates and stuff don't happen. I think one, we gotta work on our schools, us as a community, the civic engagement piece about who actually does what. Who's able to control what. I think a lot of politicians, because of the lack of civic engagement, get to run for office on a bunch of issues. And a lot of time issues they can't even control or influence. So people get in, and now people are frustrated because if I ran my campaign on potholes, that'd be crazy because I don't control what the city does with potholes. I can get money back to the city as a state rep. So hopefully they put it towards pothole or street repair or infrastructure, but I can't control it. But you got candidates who will run on that. And people, that's what people care about. I think that's what you hear in politics. It's less about actual results and actual plans these days. It's actually about what's going to excite the base. Which he has been good at. Trump has been good at exciting, getting them people to riled up, making empty promises, right? Okay, if you can, but go ahead. You said engage to the engagement piece. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Well, I think last election is so important because I think there's been great wins. I think Biden has done or tried to do stuff. Right now, it's President Biden. He's working with a Republican-controlled House of Representatives in Congress and a 50-50, a slim majority because we're the vice president in the U.S. Senate. So President Biden can want to push for these policies, but when it's getting shut down at the door of Congress because Republicans refuse to do it because they're beholden to lobbying groups like the NRA, it doesn't happen. So I think this election is so important because people are counting on, because like it's important to have President Biden. It's also important to get people like Congresswoman Moore back in Congress and elect folks all across the country that can help do the work. If we can get the control of Congress again, the House, keep control of the Senate and get President Biden back in, we actually push those policies.
We can make the changes. Could you do this for me real quick? Congress, see how you just broke that down, right? A lot of people, when Obama was in office, they were saying he wasn't doing this, he wasn't doing that. You just showed that it's not just the president, it's Congress also, right? And it's locally, it's important to vote locally, right? So can you show to the people who listening, and again, we got a whole population of different people listening, how that process goes. Like you just stated, we need to get the Congress out. We need to get the House. It's not just getting the presidency, right? That's one part. That's important. Am I right? But we still we need the Congress and the Senate also, right? So could you go into that breakdown of it.
Yeah. So I think what President Biden has done, he has laid out a clear vision for what he wants to see America be. What do you want to see states like Wisconsin? He's been in Wisconsin. I think him and the vice president maybe four to six times already this year in May. But they laid out this clear vision of what they want to do and see happen. But the president is the executive of the country. He runs the day to day. He operates within the laws that Congress drafts. As Congress, the House of Representatives, and the U.S. Senate are the legislators. They're the ones who actually make the policy. President Biden can push for it. He can ask for it. He can push policy to Congress. But it's up to Congress to actually take action, pass those policies, and give them to his desk to sign.
And Congress is Republican dominated.
The House of
right
Representatives is Republican dominated right now, and we have a slim majority in the U.S. Senate. So why we focus on electing President Biden, so we have a president, because the president is important. That's the one who signs this into law or vetoes and sends it back to Congress. He needs the support of the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate to actually get the policy done into his desk. Same thing with Governor Evers. Right now, Republicans control the state assembly and the state senate. Like Governor Evers, Republicans in our state push forward a bunch of crazy policy. Governor Evers gets to veto that policy and doesn't become law. And we as Democrats get to uphold the veto. But if we weren't there, or Evers wasn't there, that policy they're pushing would become law. It isn't the governor who pushes the policy. He can push for it and build support and lobby electeds on it and try to get the policy done in Congress, but he needs that support. I think President Biden has been trying to do that, but we have to work on getting him that support, give him that team in Congress to help him get the policy to his desk. So I think that's why this election is so important. I think that people get frustrated. I think also there's a lot of just misconceptions on social media, and I think the president is a very humble person. I think he get a lot of stuff done, but he doesn't go around bragging about it all the time because he's doing the work. Right. Just like he got $3.3 billion to Wisconsin to redo 6th Street. 6th Street was redeveloped when the freeway came through and tore apart the Black and brown community. And for generations now, we've talked about how it's tore apart our communities, homes, stores,
just remove located, yes.
Yeah. But now we have the funding from the president. That's not one thing he can't do is allocate funding from his departments and through grants and whatnot to local communities. But now we have $3.3 billion to actually redoing 6th Street, to rebuild 6th Street that is now a part of the community. Right. You could build houses and businesses around it now and restore the harm that is done. That's some of the things that he's done a huge win. He came to Hillside. He came to the district, came to Hillside to make that announcement. To make that announcement. But those things that won't happen if President Biden isn't there. So it's not always the big policy wins. It's sometimes it's allocating some funds. Because in the grand scheme of things, $3.3 billion for the U.S. government is a small number in the budget, but it's a real number for us.
It changes. That's what I was saying again in the beginning. The local politics, right? You are boots on the ground, right? And a number of you guys are boots on the ground, right? The energy that the other side is putting out. I just think we need to have that same energy. It has to have that, because even he's creating, as you just said, $3 billion went, right? And only a handful of us know it. I have this thing where I say, if ignorance is loud, freedom has to be twice as loud. So if they're over there showing the worst of what we are, we have to show the best. So that news has to get out, right? Young men like yourself out here speaking and showing how it's done, what needs to be done, and speaking on these issues. Because if I can let's go back to the piece where the NRA and the Trump, what he's saying and how this get passed if he becomes president and this happens, right? How detrimental to us is that? And I don't mean just us as people of color, but I mean a community at all. School shootings, mass shootings. And these men,
I'm not cut you off, but you mentioned that. You mentioned these mass shootings.
Yes.
And we often refer to mass shootings as these one-time events where 6 people are shot. Well, I think when we got that number being shot in a matter of weeks, a matter of months, that's a mass shooting.
On a weekend. On a weekend.
And that's what we're experiencing. And that's the byproduct of people not wanting. Like, look, I've had Republicans tell me, we lobby at the state, we lobbying for policy change. And they'll tell me that's not happening in my community.
So it don't matter.
That ain't my issue. So you got some folks who just simply don't care. You have some folks who you can show them the data, you can show them the stories, and you can show them the actual real people. Even if they want to make the change, they're literally fearful to make the change. And if you're scared to make the change, you need to get out the way. But they're literally scared to make the change because of folks like the NRA who are supporting people like Donald Trump for running for re-election or run for president again, who just are in the way and won't let it happen. So you got folks who are scared to make stuff happen because they're scared of what might happen to them and
the repercussions. And
you got people who just simply do not care because it's not affecting them.
I have to ask, is that disheartening at all to know? I know if I lay it out, I'm using it this example. If I'm talking to a young man and I show him like, man, listen, if you keep going this route, this is what's happening, right? And I'm just saying when they're young and they say, man, you know, that's what it is. But here you are as an elected official, a servant, you go to someone and say, hey, man, this is happening in our community. There was a shooting on a certain side of Chicago where 24 people were shot. And these guns are assault rifles. They're not in this community. How are they getting a hand of these guns? And somebody goes, I mean, it's not my community. Is that because I don't know how I would take that? How do you?
It's frustrating. It pisses you off because
Yeah,
those are the same people who are the first to get in front of the camera and blame President Biden or blame Democrats or blame us in Milwaukee for the gun violence, for the numbers, for the shootings, for the murders. But when we literally are begging y'all to help us make it happen, when we literally got President Biden or Governor Evers who are creating opportunities and creating the conversation about how do we address gun violence and address gun safety, and y'all are literally shutting down and not entertaining the conversation.
not even in.
And then privately you tell me you don't care, but then publicly you saying it's our fault. Like that's gaslighting the community. But then so they want us to get frustrated. They want us to get tired of actually what's happening. They want us to blame. They want you to blame people who are actually fighting for you, so you don't go vote. Because when you stay home, they win.
They win.
As I know it sounds like BS, but
that's a phrase we have to put. If you stay home, they win. What have you seen some of the numbers? What are some of the? I remember one time Muhib and I, we were doing, we were working with a group. I forgot the group. I forget the name, but I remember how the lady stated that it was like 70% of the shootings, the guns were traced to private gun owners or people who didn't live in the community.
Yeah.
Right. So that tells me that the guns are coming in from somewhere, but they're not, and we're getting the brunt of it, right? But the other side is getting passed on it, right? What are some of the numbers that you've seen, or do you have numbers that show what it's looking like when you give this data out to people?
I don't have the numbers, but like those background check laws, the boyfriend loophole. So Biden was able to get a bipartisan bill done.
And for the boyfriend loophole is
when the girlfriend or someone else who was legally able to buy a gun would buy a gun. The boyfriend, if they give it to him or they take it from him, where it may be, or people even buy it from him, that person gets the gun and they're able to use the gun when they get caught with it. The owner who personally bought the gun originally doesn't get held accountable because it went missing, somebody stole it, and they broke into my car. So that person not able to get that gun and cause harm in the community, but there's no repercussions for the person who originally bought that gun. Knowingly willing to give to the person who shouldn't have it, who's causing harm.
King, we going to commercial. I'm sitting here with the youngest in charge. I got to say that, King, youngest in charge. We gonna be right back, man.
with Quad on 860 AM and 106.5 FM. WNOV.
I give you I'm sitting here with my man, the rep, but you know, I call him nephew when I see him because I watched this young man grow up. King, can you do me a favor as we speak about the importance of the election, right? I want to talk also about youth engagement in the election because again, I felt like in the movie Wakanda 2, Black Panther 2, after, if anybody didn't see it, I'm just a spoiler alert. After the death of the prince, after the death of mom, after all the things she went through, there was a scene when she came back to one of the elders and he said, "Don't call me a child," and she said, he said that my child, my girl, you have been through too much trauma and lost too much to be considered a child. Right? She was leading the engagement in science now, untraditional to the ways that they knew. Yeah. How important, King, right now is youth engagement, especially that population. They say there's a study, and I don't know all of it, but in the work I've done, they say one of the more, and I use this term dangerous loosely, one of the more at risk ages are 18 to 25 years old. They're too old to be in high school. Mm-hmm. Some are not in college. Few skilled in anything. They go job to job, and not involved. They're not involved. You know, that's the population. It's not involved in anything. They're not doing nothing wrong. They ain't doing nothing right. They just not involved. Mm-hmm. How important and what do you think is some things that we could do? Obviously you doing it, but we can do, our elders or everybody, to get that population engaged, involved. And why should that population get engaged?
Yeah. So I'm 24, so I turn 25 in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Gemini in the building?
Yes.
Okay.
But the 18 to 24, 25 range is the most, it's gonna be a close election nationally.
No matter what, no matter which way you go. Okay.
It's gonna be a close election it's gonna take everybody to get out to go vote for President Biden to be his re-election. It's gonna be super close because both sides are turning up, and people are turning out. People are paying attention to what's going on. They're going to vote. I do believe that what's going to make or break this election, especially here in Wisconsin, like President Biden needs to win Wisconsin. Wisconsin needs to support
It's
President.
imperative.
It's imperative.
Okay.
I think that's what President Biden and Vice President Harris have shown by their presence just here this year, and making sure they create the space not to just pop up and have a visit, right, but to create spaces that actually have actual conversations and dialogues with Black business leaders, Black community leaders, our youth, our young people. It's important that we have everybody trying to vote, but that 18 to 25 voting block that either is or isn't voting, that can sway the election in Wisconsin. That 18 to 25 voting block is why I'm elected and why I didn't lose in 2018. So that 18 to 25 voting block is a voting block of people who sometimes are first-time voters for a presidential election, most of the time. People who aren't on any voter lists, people who aren't getting the phone calls.
They're not informed, engaged.
But they are people who also aren't beholden to a particular party. They are young people who really care about the issues, and they have to be involved in what's happening. I tell people all the time, I ran. One of the reasons I ran is because my age group, I felt, wasn't at the table. And these policies that are being passed, whether at the state capitol or the U.S. capitol, they're going to affect my life for decades to come. Those are going to be in the book. So that 18 to 25 voting block has to truly get involved and look at what's happening. We cannot risk another 4 years of Trump being the president. Policy aside, just the rhetoric alone.
Safety issues too. Yeah. Just anytime a human being can say and do some of the things he's done. Okay, but can get on a platform like he was on and literally tell a group of people, go and tear it up. You know what I mean? That's the most juvenile, bullyish tack. I lost, so I'm not gonna shake hands. I'm gonna just fight. Yeah. Right.
The rhetoric alone, policy aside, the rhetoric alone creates an unsafe environment. The rhetoric alone causes harm and damage. The rhetoric alone creates an unsafe place for young people. So we have to be the ones that get involved and get engaged. We gotta be the ones to hold our electeds accountable, our candidates accountable. Get involved, ask the questions. I think the Biden campaign set up themselves. They have headquarters in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's important in the Black community. I think it's important that we have we gotta have that my peers, 18, 25-year-olds, at the table in a room. But we gotta organize. I think our elders creating the space for young people to be heard. I think a lot of the time we have these meetings and these discussion groups, and I'm in the room. I'm almost like, man, who did the outreach?
You're looking around the room like, nobody is right. So I get you.
Our elders in the community we have to be intentional about making sure young people feel comfortable to be in the room and be in that space.
Right.
Who don't?
Do you think that sometimes plays a part in the case? In your experience, that young people feel uncomfortable, like It's
And
not for
you,
me.
you when they do speak up, you can't shut it down. Take it in. You might not agree.
Which I've
initially.
seen that happen.
Yeah, take it in. And I think that like one thing I always say about bridging the gap between our elders and our young people is just because we might be saying the same thing but saying it differently, don't mean either one is wrong.
That's right.
My perspective is a little different, but how can we find the similarities? But our young people have to be able to be feel heard. I think that was something that we talked about. I talked about last election. I expressed to folks, and I think that the President Biden campaign has shown they heard that last.
That they should. Yes.
I think the Democratic Party has heard that. Like, you got to make sure Black people, excuse me, but especially young Black people feel heard, have that space, and not just heard. What's the plan? How are we gonna move forward?
Yeah.
And we're gonna ask you to help us make it happen and help us get the space to make sure we can actually get folks elected and get the right people and the right team together. But how to make sure that your policy is heard, your stuff is your policy, and the needs are heard throughout the campaign cycle, but also when it happens. Because I think also a lot of time we put so much focus on the campaign cycle because it's so important.
Right.
But also it's like it don't stop in November.
You gotta
you gotta hold people accountable and be involved throughout the entire term in office.
The whole term in office, you hold them accountable because that's why I'm right to say the voter education comes in because of the rah-rah, Black people are emotional. It's just hands down. And we sometimes vote emotional. This like church, you're going to church. This was this gospel made me feel good. I'm empowered and I felt good. And then they leave church and go back to whatever they were doing. But you're saying we need to say, no, look, there needs to be a continuous almost programming. A continuous, you had the Urban Underground, you had other institutions. Are there things that we at the what I said, halfway point now? It's about to get real serious. The convention is coming here, right? And not only the convention coming here, but everybody coming here, because they part of the convention. It could be real crazy over that time. Are there some things that, because that's the population I'm concerned with. I'm gonna be frankly honest with you. Adults gonna make a certain decision, but that 18 to 24, I'm very concerned with because you're right. Everything that they don't do is going to affect them. Simple and plain. Okay, is there anything that myself, others can do to engage? Even with the Democratic Party, are certain things that we can do literally to get to if I'm wrong to say, excite that base? To pull them in? I
think it's stuff we're working on. I think that's stuff we definitely can do. I think that I'm big and intentional on like meeting people where they are. You gotta meet young people where they are. Young people use music. How they use the artists that they rock with, and how you use those artists. Like we could, you got your music you do, but how do you promote this message? You got to be engaged. I think you got to think about events they're going to, places they're going to be at, the type of events you do. You can have these discussions, these roundtable discussions, but how does that look? You're not gonna get young people to come downtown to a boardroom and have a discussion. But how I meet you where you are, you at Summerfest, or you at Brady Fest, or you at Juneteenth.
I tell you, I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna go on record. If you want to put that together, you can call me. We can sit in the room with it because, especially if he was here, because as Carvey is in here and the young men we have, I'm an advocate for them to have their voice. Because no one, your election, what you did, as I said earlier, these are things you were already doing. So it was just a natural transition. We have to meet them where they are. You're saying go to places, like talkbacks.
And I think also making them feel comfortable. I think one of our candidates last cycle, she had a concert as a fundraiser. The most untraditional fundraiser I've ever been to. And I think President Biden did one similar in New York with President Obama and President Clinton. I think you got to have those untraditional ways of like, the same thing with schooling. You got to be like, the old traditional way isn't working. You got to figure out, because that's how you build excitement. That's how you also think breaking down how is it for students who want to go to school? How is getting President Biden when we try to forgive student loans and make schools more affordable? How is voting for President Biden helping that happen? We talk about young people who aren't going to school right out of high school. They want to get jobs. Well, Biden is trying to make sure we get jobs back to the community. We're trying to make sure we create the funding to support small businesses. Making that connection, but you got to meet folks where they are.
Okay, can I ask you, if you don't want to answer it, I know you answered, I don't mean it that way, but the way you can, like right now you have many people in the Black community saying that what Trump did and they're talking about the stimulus, right?
That put us in a bunch of debt that we see.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But you understand this is at least so I'm gonna throw some things at you and you hit me right. One, they said, at least I know what I'm getting. Right? You've heard that. Right?
I heard that.
Two, he got us out of debt. The stimulus package, and 3, we being fooled by the media that he's not, the statements he's making, the media is taking sound bites and putting them out there.
Who?
That's what they say the media does. Trump, yes.
Okay. So I think
You can take it. You can bring it all together whichever way you go.
We know what we getting thing. I think President Biden has shown what he's doing, what he's gonna do. I think that. I think Donald Trump. I think when Donald Trump was in office, he changed what it means to be president. When presidents do.
Yes, he did.
The rhetoric, the tweets, the being in the media all the time. That ain't what being president is about.
The vulgar.
It's about actually doing work. So I think that, like most presidents have been, President Biden is not always on Twitter. He's not always in the press. He's doing his job. He's working. I think when it comes to like the stimulus checks and the stimulus package, yeah, that was part of like when I say trying to jazz up the base. People like money, so we give them some money, they're gonna love it. But now we're dealing with the debt that put us in that stimulus package, put us in, and now we're dealing with the repercussions in the inflation. Housing is high, gas is high, buying a car is high, buying groceries is high because the inflation is crazy. So a good president was like President Biden's now trying to curb all that and undo that harm that was done. But Donald Trump is getting all the credit for what he did do. But since he's gone now, he ain't got to claim. He can blame Biden for the after effect. I think that on top of just like the soundbite piece, the media plays a huge piece into it. We got to understand the media. Their job is to produce views and content and get listeners and viewers in there. So you got to also like as much as you got to listen to certain shows, listen to the news, etc. Read articles. As a voter, as a resident, as a citizen yourself, you got to be able to take that in for what it may be, and also do your own research, also do your own work, due diligence, because it ain't always what it seems. And also when people make certain statements, you got to hold them accountable, back it up. Whatever you actually done to back it up. So I think this is a cycle. I think that we're gonna do a real good job at. I think having President Biden here. I think we have candidates in the past who never came to Wisconsin, and we saw the results of that. I think having President Biden and Vice President Harris who have been consistently in Wisconsin. I'm like, I look at my email. I'm like, they coming again.
It's almost becoming regular.
I think it's given a chance for them to hear directly, not from the media. I think even when I'm at these events, the people who are there and been invited, whether it's young people or members of the community, I could tell the invites are much more intentional about they're asking people boots on the ground, people who to invite. They're inviting the boots on the ground.
They're being intentional about who needs to be there. So what can people do, Kaylin? What can people do when it comes to this piece about the gun control? Can they make phone calls? Can they do petitions? What is it that? Because I know you got things. What are the things that they can do? One, we know when we want everybody to vote. That's no question about it, right? And we'll come up with issues. I don't mean come up with issues, but we'll lay things out that are important to us. I don't ever assume what's important to me may not be important to you. But what are there phone calls they can make about this right now with the NRA? Do they need to get in touch with a congressperson? What's some things they can do?
I think that petitions are always good. I mean, I get a bunch of those in my email every day about different issues, but it's important. I think I think a lot of time we only reach out to electeds when we don't like something. I support gun control. Councilman Moore supports gun control. Governor Evers, President Biden. But it's also important to reach out to those folks and tell them you in support what they're in support of. Because now when I go to this meeting, I got 1,000 emails sitting on the side of me of people who saying the same thing I'm saying. You got to show up at city council meeting, county board meetings, state committee meetings. Even if you have the ability to get to DC, you gotta show up to these meetings in these spaces and actually show that you're present and you're watching. I think that changes the conversation. I think this election cycle, when President Biden's coming, Trump gonna come too. You gotta show up. You gotta show up and make your voice heard. You gotta show up like, hey, this is what we fighting for. We cannot let people get by with not doing nothing.
What we fighting for, King? If you a young, listen, you're a young black man in Milwaukee. You taking advantage of the knowledge and the know about of your rearing of your pops and everything around you. There's a group of young black men out there, right? That don't have the know-how, right? That are in between. They in limbo. I want to do right, but I don't know why. I don't know how to do right. I want to get involved, but I don't know where to get involved. Despair, hopeless, and I'm gonna say that because that's the conversation.
We got a hope desert.
Yeah, it is, right? You can see the faces of people. Mental health is serious. King, what do you say to them from where you are? What do you say to that young man, like little brother? He's not that far from you, or that dude on 5th and Center, or somebody out now, their son, and that the myth of felons can't vote or can vote, because people when you don't know the information, you make up information. And now there's somebody that needs to know, they don't know. Right?
Felons can vote.
Thank you.
If you are done with your sentence your time incarcerated, you are done with your probation, your rights to vote are restored. I've been pushing a bill actually in Madison.
Shout out.
To send a notification to folks when you are, because they don't. I guess they don't tell you when you done been on papers and you get to vote again. So I've been pushing for a bill that makes sure when you are done being on papers and you are everything, all the whole process is done, not only do you get done with that, but a part of your debriefing process or your and the process is we give you the voter registration as a state. We give it to you like, hey, you can register to vote now. I think that's super important. Sending you a card, letting the DMV know that you can register to vote, letting DOT letting the departments know like, now you can actually do this process and how we reach out to you and make it possible.
Yeah.
So
what do you say to him, King?
What we're fighting for now, though, I think that we talk about my run for office and what I've been able to get done or the support I've had. I hate that we talk about it like it's an anomaly. That should be the norm. So what we're fighting for is making sure that those same opportunities that I got or other people have had as a community collectively, everybody has that same opportunity. Whenever I'm on Fifth and Center in my district, it's like I meet a young person who asks for help. I offer my help, and I can't be there to help everybody every single day. Yes, sir. But how do I just blend you that support? How do I connect you with a Quab? How do I connect you with a Muhib? How do I connect you with a Reggie Moore? How do I connect you with folks who can help and support you? Yes. So I think we fight and build this community network that we can support every Black man and woman, young, older, whatever it may be, to have that opportunity. Because I think we might not all have it individually. But collectively, we got the support to do it. We are a majority minority city. Yes. And if we come together, I've seen other communities do it. When I'm traveling, I've seen other communities in other groups do it. We can do it too. So I think we're fighting for building this connectedness. We got to fight to just really build a community and a culture that we support each other, we want to see each other win. Because I think people make these bad decisions not because they want to, but out of the helplessness, out of desperation. So how do we make sure that like, hey, stuff might be rough, but it ain't gotta stay that way. Come on. How do I lend my support? How do I lend my help? How do we build this network now? Black men willing to support young Black men and becoming the next thing they want to be. And like some people got big dreams, some people got simple dreams. How do we help you accomplish that dream is the goal. I think we got the ability to do it. Milwaukee is a big city. That's a big, small city. I think we really can come together and support each other. So I think we're working on stuff. I'm going to connect with you for sure, too. Sometimes all it takes is a conversation. It does, To let you know it's possible. I even meet people that, which is crazy to me. People meet me and be like, I never thought I'd see you in person. Or I'm pumping gas. Like, you pumping your own gas? I'm like, yeah, I put my own gas. I go to the grocery store like that. Like, I realize that like, sometimes you just gotta see it and touch it to believe it. So being available, being accessible, being around, walking the block so people can see it. Myself, you, and just Black men in general, we gotta just be present and be around because sometimes that's all it takes. Just the vision of it. Yesterday I was doing doors and I met a young man on doors. My staff saw him. I went to talk to his school at his class at Vince in February of 2019. Met him and saw him again yesterday. He knew exactly who I was. Remember what I talked about? And was geeking and some of all the great stuff he's doing. He just graduated. Look at that. Classes he enrolled into, what his plan is. He a paraprofessional in NPS. He's going to school, get his license this fall. But like that's what it's about. Like it's just like inspiring and helping, like letting people see it and touch it. You ain't gotta be a ball player. You can go be a CEO. You ain't gotta be a ball player. You can go be a pilot. You can be elected official. You can do whatever you want to do. We gotta inspire that hope again. I think you got that hope. It creates that hunger now. So I think that's what we fighting. We fighting to give the city hope again. We fighting to give the community hope and build this community that we support each other. And we just there for each other. Man, King, listen, man, this has been great, man. We gonna keep this moving. Look, because I know you got to get out. But look, so I got to do this, man. I got to say this. I do this with everybody. One, I'm gonna ask you these 3 questions, but I got to say this. What does it look like if you campaign it? What does it look like if that population doesn't come out and Trump wins the election? What could it look like in a 3 to 5 year span if you could see it that far? What could it look like? You see another term of Trump where the rhetoric is terrible. It's worse than before. It's worse than before. He can't go for a 3rd term. He might try, but he can't. You see the rhetoric be terrible and the harm that caused. You see the lack of resources get back to the city. I cannot tell you how much more productive it is having Senator Baldwin, President Biden, in the federal Congressman Moore in DC to work with to get resources back to the city. I literally had to talk today with somebody. I'm like, I don't know how we look as a city or my job as a state rep if I couldn't call Senator Baldwin or Congressman Moore or the Biden administration and get resources back to the city. Because sometimes the state ain't got it. But like having them in DC fighting with us, it's a different. That stuff stops though. If they come, yes. So having that, so we see resources not getting back to the city from federal government. We see issues like gun violence exacerbated because now the rhetoric is there. There's no policies being enforced, and literally there are people who, when good stuff happens, when we get good wins on policy, there's folks like, hey, when who know shit about it. We're gonna undo this when we get a chance. We're gonna make it worse when we get a chance. That's the reality of it all. So I think 3 to 5 years now, we don't see President Biden give another re-election. We don't see folks like Senator Baldwin get reelected. We don't see the folks who are doing the work and fighting get reelected. this is a different reality. Completely. Like the wins we've been getting, it might seem like small wins and might get talked about, but those wins stop. So now we go from a place of we fighting and making progress to we just fighting the whole ground where we at.
And that's you're swimming above water, huh?
Yep.
Right. Well, King, look, you are inspiring to me. I mean that, family. To know what you do, where you come from, how you did it, man, it's amazing. When I asked you to come speak to the high schoolers, how many of them were like, man, I want to work with them, So King, we have to see what we want to be. So I got to give you 3 questions as you get out the door. Number 1, finish the sentence. The truth is,
we can do it.
If this world was mine,
it'd be done.
I am unapologetically
black.
My man. Hey, man, can we get an O around this? Oh, see what I'm talking about, King? We got you, man. Anytime, man. You're more than welcome to pull up, man. And this conversation is just a conversation we've been having for the last X amount of years. Let's keep these conversations, man. We getting out of here for a minute, man. How are we rolling? So, King, man, K, it was a pleasure to see you. Tell the pops and the fam I said, what's up, King? Blessings to you, man.
Yeah,
Blessings to you, man. All day, man. I'll be back. All day, all day. Sir. All day. Let's give him an O, man.
Oh. Yes, sir.
Man. Carvey, how you feeling after that? How you feeling after that, Carvey? And Kay, how old are you again? 24. Yeah, and he's the first time voter. He's the first time voting. Yes. Listen, you got a link with Carvey. MC, Carvey got a following. They're gonna say, see, Carvey, hey, for real. No, man, we gotta talk.
A fan base, man.
Man, we gotta talk. See what I'm saying? It happens that quick. They shot him up right quick, man.
Yeah, hey, man, that's what it's about, man. Connection.
Yes.
Empowering, who's next. Passing it down the line, man.
Yes.
That's what.
Yes.
Generational wealth.
All day. And the voter education also. Just the fact that, as Caitlin was stating, I'm able to, how powerful, because I think in our community, when Obama was president, we went in. He didn't do this, he didn't do this. But what people fail to realize, he broke it down. You have to have Congress and Senate, right? You have to have, so that's our backbone. And for those who don't know, that's the block. That's the block, you right? That's the block.
Yeah, and on top of that, what people really don't realize, he tried to get a lot of stuff done, and a lot of the stuff that he was doing, it was being blocked.
Yes, because of what he just so for those that's the low end, the president manages the day-to-day. He is the face of the country, but there's the body, right? That's no different on the block. There might be this, if I can put these terms, there might be some dude on the block, you so-called run it or whatever you want to have that conversation, but there's a body of people that make sure that these things are done a certain way, right? From the foot soldier to everybody on sports. So we have to, and I am, anybody out there, Ledette said, voter oppression is real. That's why you're given 5 and 10 year probation. So your voting privileges are delayed and become discouraged. And I was glad he dispels that myth, because the wrong people are given the wrong information.
That is true.
And it is a true statement. We die for lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times. If you're a felon, you can't vote. And I've jumped in and people know that's not the truth. You're a felon, you can't vote. And in our community, that spreads like wildfire. Especially to some people, if I can say this, to some people who didn't want to get involved anyway. All you need is excuses like, well, they told me it was raining. So I'm, what I'm saying? It's raining. I wasn't going anyway.
Man, say that again, bro.
Let me get my bell on. You got to hashtag that. One excuse versus a million opportunities.
Wow.
Listen, man, Carvey, I can't. Just do it this way. You saw this young man. I've known him since even younger than you were. What does that look like, man? Seeing his brother, what he doing and what he's about to become. And come on, come to the mic real quick. Come to the mic real quick. Speak on that, King. Talk to me.
I just say I seen myself, man. That young man, he 24 years old. Once I heard that come out his mouth, because I was in there on my phone, so I'm not gonna lie, like I was paying attention to the whole part. But when I heard 24 years old versus everything that was coming out of his mouth, it changed my everything. I looked up like, what? Like I thought I was tripping. 24 years old,
youngest ever in Wisconsin.
Crazy.
Ran the whole campaign, knocked on doors.
Like, how you always say you got to see it to believe it. I seen myself as like him, like nice looking young man, representing himself well, and you know, just knowing exactly what he's talking about.
It can be done.
It can be
Man,
done.
that's good, man. Hey, man. See what I'm saying, man? We make magic in here, man. I don't know why they playing with it. Playing, man. Take us to commercial. I don't know why they playing, man. Stop playing around, man.
Milwaukee. This is Michelle Bryant, your host of Say Something Real. When President Joe Biden wanted to talk to Milwaukee voters, he called WNOV. And welcome President Biden to Milwaukee and to WNOV. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. I had a great event downtown, and I'm at the headquarters now, and we're feeling really good. It's a great day. We have a lot of 1,000 volunteers going out here in Wisconsin, out of Milwaukee in particular.
So we are ready to roll in Wisconsin.
And I tell you what, God love you. We get Wisconsin, we win it all.
For up-to-date election information, keep it locked on WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM.
Mi Casa Su Cafe, 1835 North Martin Luther King Drive, is open and proud and ready to serve you, serving the best in soul food cuisine like shrimp and grits, catfish and fries, gourmet hamburger specials, Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, okra bites, and too much more to mention in 30 seconds. Join us at 7 p.m. every Tuesday Eve for Poetry Night, every Thursday night for Ladies Night, where we feature seafood specials, and Friday evenings for the best in R&B music by 7 p.m. Mi Casa Su Cafe, 1835 North Martin Luther King Drive, 414-488-9916. That's 414-488-9916.
Hey Milwaukee, join me, Tavis Smiley, from my show Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM, the voice of the community.
WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee. Back to On the Porch with Quad on 860 AM and 106.5 FM WNOV.
Man, I was gonna let that ride a little bit, man. I mean, you can bring me back, but I was gonna let me hear just a little bit of that. In the beginning was the word, and the word was beginning. From the top of the head to the top of the dome. Freestyle and say a brand new poem. Black boys are dying, mothers are crying. They say politicians are lying. Word to comment, I swear I'm trying. The odds I am defying. They tried to put me in the ground and put me in the casket. Said I was born without a father, so I guess I'm a bat. Won't say the word. I speak in first person and then I speak in third. I guess you heard when I write. It's never a freestyle, and I freestyle because I write. I speak a word in the darkness, and at times I bring light. My insight, third eye, my vision, to see, to be. I could be a pause or I could be a comma. Sitting in the room what could be the next Obama. So dream, live, see, feel, grow, know, knowledge itself, books on the shelf. Don't die young, live forever. That was vibe. Freestyle is the vibe, man. That's the vibe, man. That's
Man,
how I
you
feel.
need to add that every day.
Do some
No,
more.
seriously.
Hey, all right, we gonna do that. We gonna just start. Hey, man,
Hey.
it's the freestyle hour, man.
Hey, man, towards the end, add that word.
All right, then that's that. Say no more.
That's dope.
Hey, man, listen, man. I'm in here with you, man. I'm in here with you, man. Listen, man. Look, fam. We never have a show over here. Carvey said it better than anybody. It's a movie. And man, listen, I love being a part of the movie, man. I love being a part of the movement. Man, several years ago, I was reading today, Boys in the Hood, John Singleton, he had wrote Boys in the Hood. And he was a young man at film school, and he wrote his script, and they told him they would direct it. And he was like, no, nobody can talk about South Central better than I can. I'm from South Central LA. Nobody from Pittsville is going to write about the life and time I come from. So with that being said, man, Caitlin is defying the odds. Carvey, you define the odds. Every time you guys get up, you tell a new story and you share with the world what we are and what we can be, man. So shout out to Caitlin, and please, family, over the time, man, we gonna keep talking about this engagement for youth, because that's a serious age. I'm gonna say what I know from the work I do. They say 18 to 30 is the most dangerous population of young Black males, because the in and out of the system. And I say dangerous, not calling them monsters, but I'm saying of the despair, of the disparities, of lack of education, etc. I'm in programs now that I speak at, and that's a serious thing. They're not disconnected. They just don't have access to connect, right? So we have to access why is the streets winning? The streets make death look good. The streets make prison look good. The streets make abuse look good. So with that being said, man, if the streets making good, we have to make what we just saw look good. We have to make life look good, and we have to make education look amazing. So, King, it's been a great one, man. How you feeling, man? We getting ready to get up out of here, King?
Man, listen here, man. It was great information, man. I feel great, man. I'm so happy and proud for the young man that's taking a stand at the age that he's taking a stand.
Yes, sir.
He's putting his footprint in the community.
Standing in the gap, baby. Standing in the gap.
So that's awesome, man. I want to salute the brother.
How you feeling over there, Carvey? Man, take it all. It's enlightenment, man. Shout out to Ladette Austin. She going to a school board meeting tonight at King. That's what I'm talking about. Get involved, man. Get involved. Get involved. So, man, let's get up out of here, man. I'm ready to get up out of here, King. So I'm gonna leave you with give me the moment, man. I'm gonna leave you with the inspirational word, man. Kings and queens, I cannot leave you without leaving some word of encouragement, some word of strength, and some word of empowerment. And what's my empowering word today is life gonna be hard. It's supposed to be, but it's fair. If something happened to you, you can't wish it on nobody else. So I'm gonna ask you this: why not you? Why not you? Why come you can't be the next? As a matter of fact, why you can't be the first? You might be broken, no question about it, and you might have been abused, and you might have been hurt. But I tell you this: if you quit now, you're gonna quit again. So I leave you with the words that the late great Duke Ellington said. He says, and you can write this down. He says, life has two rules, Carvey. Rule number one: don't quit. Rule number two, Jermaine, don't forget rule number one. Peace, power, and prosperity, fam. What's up, cousin? Hey, talk us out of here, man. Where I'm at, Carvey.